Alright guys, so welcome back to part 2 of my swarm guide. In this video I'm going to be going over the upgrades for the Ridden, which ones I usually do, the order I do them in, and why. So let's just assume that we have started off a new game in Swarm. We're on round 1 and it's our turn to be Ridden. So we've got 4 people, each person will spawn in with 50 mutation points. And so what I normally would do is have one person upgrade the Reeker defense level to level 1 with 50 points. So that's going to give us spawn with 20% damage resistance and you lose 1% each time you take damage. That's just going to give a little bit of a health buff to the Reeker class. So if you're following my part 1 guide, you probably will start off with having a Shredder, a Wretch, and then 2 Tallboys. So after we've had the first person upgrade the defense on the Reeker to level 1, we're then going to have another person upgrade the offense level 1 time, and that's going to give us the ability to do 10 damage when we charge somebody with the sprint ability where you do like the shoulder check thing, and then that's also going to apply pus cover to them, which does damage over time and slows them. Really good to start off with, but we still have 2 people with 50 mutation points. So we can also get level 2 on the offense, just to start off with. So that's going to make the pus cover do more damage per second. This helps with the Wretch and anything that's going to be doing the shoulder check charge ability. So we've spent all of our 200 points that we spawn in with. At this point, we're going to continue on with the round, wait for the cleaners to get through the scavenge phase, and then when the game starts, we're going to prioritize getting the Wretch to cover people as much as possible, doing as much damage as quickly as possible so we can get more points. And the next thing we're going to start upgrading. After we get our initial points in, we're going to continue to upgrade the Reeker. Now, we have a couple of options here. We can either opt to go for offense level 3, which does even more damage, and this is especially good for the Shredder and the Exploder, or we can charge all the way up to level 3 on the utility. So at level 1 on the utility upgrades, this costs 50 mutation points, so you can get this relatively quickly. Move speed penalties from attacking are reduced by 15%. It just makes you a little bit quicker while you're attacking. It's not that great, but when we get to level 2, the pus covered now reduces the move speed of the cleaners by an additional 15%. So this one's really good. It makes cleaners even slower. That way when the Wretch is puking all over the map, it makes them unable to get away from the Tallboys and anything else that might be attacking them. But what we really want to get here on the Reeker is the utility level 3, because this is anti-heal. This reduces the amount of healing that cleaners can do by 50%. I don't know if that number's actually right. It might be more than that. It seems like it could be more than that. But basically, if you have them covered with pus, because you should prioritize keeping your Wretch alive the whole game, if you have them covered with pus and they're trying to heal, they won't be able to heal for the full amount. And this actually affects the revive cards as well. There's a couple cards that give cleaners more health when they get picked up. This will also reduce that healing by 50%. So as quickly as possible, you want to get to utility level 3. Whether you do that after you get damage is up to you. It really depends, but quickly I'll go back to the defense upgrade so you can see what comes later in that. At level 2 is regenerating charge, and this one is super good because while you're doing the sprint or charge ability on the Reeker class, you regenerate 50 health per second, which is a lot. So as long as you're sprinting, if they're shooting at you, you're going to die a lot slower than you would if you're standing still. So okay, to recap again, the Reeker upgrades in order. Defense level 1, offense up to level 1 and then 2, and then you can either get this level 3 on offense, get level 2 on defense, or you can go all the way up to level 3 on utility. Simultaneously, after you start getting these upgrades a little bit, you don't have to get all of these all the way up, but you should start upgrading your Tallboys. And the order I would recommend you upgrading your Tallboys is the following. Health, level 1 first, because this gives them 15% more health. Then switch back to damage, and give them 15% more damage. After you get level 1 on both, it's up to you, but I would also recommend going back to health, and alternating. So basically, you do health, damage, health, damage, health, damage, all the way up until you get level 3 on both. At level 2 on the Tallboy defense, you regenerate 15 health per second, and at level 3, you get 30% extra health. At level 2 on the Tallboy offense, you do more trauma damage, and at level 3, you're going to increase the damage by 30%. So at this point, we've got Tallboy defense and damage up to level 3. Let's take a look at the utility. Utility level 1 reduces the duration that you can be stunned for. It's not that incredibly good, but when you get to level 2, each time you do an overhead slam on the cleaner, that's basically like the single cleaner attack, just the regular attack on the Tallboys, it's going to drain 25 stamina from them, so it makes it harder for them to run away. And then at level 3, this is an incredibly good upgrade. While you're using the burst, or the charge/sprint attack on the Tallboy, you're going to take 25% less damage and do 25% more damage. So the important thing to remember here is that in order to get the benefit of the increased damage and damage resistance, you have to be sprinting. So every time you attack a cleaner, you should be sprinting with that burst attack. So do your sprint and then do the attack in order to do 25% more damage. You probably won't get all of these upgrades by the end of round 1, especially if you kill them very quickly. The most you'll probably get is Reeker like 1, 2, and 3. That is a pretty good estimate. You might also have 1 or 2 upgrades on the Tallboy at the end of round 1. But then on round 2, you should continue all the way up until you get level 3, or at least level 2 here, then level 3, and then go back for level 3 on the defense after you have offense and utility to level 3. For the Tallboy, you'll have these already upgraded to 3, and then you'll do the utility to 3. And at this point, you can consider doing the common upgrades, but I'll talk about that in a second. What you should then do, once you've got level 3 on all of the Reeker upgrades, level 3 on all of the Tallboy upgrades, what I would probably do next is do the Puss Handling Slow or the level 4 utility upgrade on the Reg. This is going to reduce the cleaner's use speed, reload speed, and swap speed by 35%, or alternatively, you can do the Reeker offense. It basically just makes them a lot more powerful. They can attack faster, and the exploder will blind cleaners temporarily. Another really good upgrade for the Tallboy is to do damage level 4, because this increases your attack speed by 50% on your next attack. So basically, the faster you can attack, the more damage you do, the faster you kill them. I wouldn't really recommend doing the level 4 armor. In my opinion, it's too many points to spend on something that gives you a little value. It's already hard enough to hit the weak spots on Tallboys, so I just normally don't go for this one. Usually what I'll do is I'll get one of these 2 upgrades for the Reeker class, either the offense level 4 or utility level 4, and then I'll do the Tallboy damage level 4 and possibly do Fear Aura, which is level 4 utility. Otherwise, I'm going to go to the common, which we'll cover in a minute. I'll quickly go through the Stinger upgrades, even though I don't usually use them because the Stinger class is just not that good right now. And this is also going to depend pretty heavily on which Stinger you're going to play. Keithustis has a really good guide on different Stinger classes. If you want to look at that, I've linked it up here. But if I were to play a Stinger, I would probably upgrade offense first. Level 1, you do 2 bonus damage when the cleaners have below 50% health. Level 2 is really good. It's ramping damage, so every time you do damage to a cleaner, it increases your damage by 3% until you die. And this can stack up to 20 times, which means you'll get an extra 60% damage. Then at level 3, your exhausted duration is reduced by 2 seconds, and the Urchin mines have more health, but you don't play Urchin because you're good at the game and you know better. And then finally, at level 4, every 4 seconds, your next attack is empowered and does 100% more damage. So you just basically double your damage every 4 seconds. But if I was playing Stinger, I would probably get 1 and 2 first, and then I might go for utility. And in the utility, you get level 1, reduces move speed penalty while attacking or charging an attack for all Stinger variants. Level 2, the Stinger shot blinds cleaners. The Stalker pounce bleeds, which just does damage over time. Urchin Mine puddles damage, and then the Hawker Harpoon amplifies damage. Then at level 3, significantly increases the cleaner move speed reductions and effect durations of all slow effects. This is a very overly wordy way of saying it basically makes the cleaners slower when you hit them. At level 4, this one's really good. This one's actually incredibly powerful. So all stingers go into a frenzy and ignore exhaustion for 10 seconds when a cleaner is incapacitated or killed. So basically, if a cleaner goes down and you're playing a stinger, you can just keep shooting for 10 seconds. And if you've got that ramping damage, I forget what the number is, but you're going to be doing quite a lot of damage, upwards of 15 damage per shot. Now let's go back to the defense upgrades. These are pretty good as well. Level 1, dealing damage to a cleaner heals the stinger for 10 health. At level 2, dealing damage increases your max health by 3 up to 20 stacks or 60 extra health. At level 3, leaping increases your damage resistance by 40% for 4 seconds. And at level 4, you get armor and you get 50% extra health. So the best way to upgrade the Stinger would probably be to get damage levels 1 and 2 first, followed by defense levels 1 and maybe up to 2. And then go up to level 3 on your offense level, followed by all the way up to level 4 on your utility level. Okay, so I do apologize if this is a little bit hard to read. I had to smush everything into one slide here. But now I'm going to go over the common upgrades. So to kind of understand why I don't normally upgrade the common, let's take a look at what you actually get. So first thing to note is it actually costs more points to upgrade the common than it does to upgrade the mutations starting out. And that's really bad because you want to get value out of the things that you spend your points on. And so when you're looking at these common upgrades, just for the Horde level, for instance, the level 1 upgrade is actually good. It increases the number of common walkers in the available spawn pool, so it pretty much doubles how many common walkers you're going to have around at any time. And that's useful for distracting the cleaners, a little bit more damage over time, but not much. Like I said, dealing with the common is not a big deal. It's pretty easy to just throw a pipe bomb or a firecracker paired with a Molotov and just clear out the whole horde. At level 2, you get more common joggers, so they get a little bit faster, all the way up to level 4. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever upgraded to level 3 or 4, even after I get my Reeker and Tallboys all to level 3 on everything. But once I do have level 3, and if I don't feel like I want to go all the way for the level 4 upgrades, what I usually would do is the Horde level once, and then I would start working on the power level. The power level is really good. It increases their health and damage by quite a bit. Level 2 actually kind of does nothing, really. It's basically, for each hit the common do to the cleaners, it reduces their healing received by 2%, stacking up to 40%. I don't really ever see that happening too often. At level 3, the common slow cleaners a lot more, which is cool, but again, it's a lot of points, so is it really worth it? I don't think it is. And at level 4, you actually get a super huge buff to all of their health and damage, which is really good. The evolution level, level 1 adds the armored common, which are annoying to deal with. At level 2, they have a chance to spawn charred in, and those are the fire ones that deal damage when they get close. At level 3, you get the Ridden that explode into a pool of acid on death. Those are the green ones. And at level 4, you get the festering. So if I had to invest all my points in a game only into common, what I would probably do is do level 1 Horde level, then level 1 power level, and then I would go into the evolution level 1 and 2. After that, I might get level 3 on the evolution level, and then hop back to level 2 here, and then go all the way up to level 3 here, maybe even level 4 here. And then after that, I would probably get the festering, and then I would do the speed last. But honestly, it's something I never really bother with unless I'm just feeling bored and I want to see how long the enemies can survive against the common. But that's going to do it for part 2 of my Swarm Guide. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing a part 3 later, so please check back in. And thanks again for watching.